Hey there, welcome to another edition of the Akashic Portal Weekly, looking at the week of November 16th through the 22nd. I'm Jen Duchenne, and I'm using the Illuminating Journey cards created by me with the help of the Akashic Records to give you insight to what is coming this week. I've already prepared the cards, so let's move forward. I'm just being reminded we are in the doorway of the eclipse season, which has now begun. And so just being aware that there are a lot of major shifts coming in, a lot of energy moving. Let's see what the cards have to say. Aha. So the first card for this week is this one called Liquid, which is one of the tools. The Illuminating Journey cards have 3 different types of cards. And one of them is tools. And the tools help us to understand how to work through or deal with the challenges we have right now. So this one, liquid, which is whatever kind of speaks to you about liquid, is here potion for motion, water, whatever liquid is. And the background is blue, the bottle is kind of one of these distillation bottles or distilling liquid. So what do you take from that? What I see here is this is an invitation to really begin to dip into the liquid stream, the way we live, the way we operate. uh, there's an opportunity to be moved forward by liquid. We've just had the Scorpio new moon. Scorpio's in the deep waters. And it's that deep water that is activated by passion, by pain, transformation, destruction, death, reformation. And what does water or liquid do? It breaks down the blockages, it breaks through, it goes around, it finds a way to go where it needs to go. So revelatory. So we will know things, we will feel things leaving us, moving away from us, swimming away from us. But we also get a sense of relief, like the ease that comes with the flow of liquid, of being in that energy of water. Water conducts electricity. So it's also about opening ourselves up into widening that stream, that sense of movement that is so necessary. Perhaps drinking more water. Also dwelling in the places of what liquid means to you. When something is liquid, it's easy to move. Liquid assets, liquid living. It's moving easy. Maybe it's about having those smoothies that you drink. Just living your life in a more fluid way, not being so quick to stay in a place of anger and kind of resentment, but moving out of it. Like, it's not that you shouldn't have those responses or that you won't have responses of resentment and anger, etc., but to choose to liquidize what doesn't serve. So if you're being stuck, just being held back, and there's no motion because you're fixed in a way of thinking, a way of being, then think about what water or liquid can do. It can ease your path. It can help you let go of old feelings and emotions. And of course, water also speaks to emotion, right? It's the thing that liquidizes our journey or keeps us stuck, or maybe wants us to focus on a certain thing that has muddled our thinking or muddied our thinking. If you think about water in terms of all the different ways water shows up, where it muddies something, liquidizes others, moves things, finds a new path. There is something very determined about water. And this idea that what water or liquid does is that it has a mind of its own and it will just keep moving. So keep moving, but also being aware. What is the thing you're moving to? Why are you moving? What is required now? so that you can really begin to get into the flow. As we move into preparing for the end of 2020, moving into 2021, is this idea of being more like water, in the sense of how water is. Water is adaptable. It doesn't lose its sense of self, but it adapts to what's around it. So that's the key, is how do you stay being you, or become more purified of being you, and still able to move forward and live with what is around you. So it doesn't mean that you give up your shape, but that you uh, understand that there's some adaptation in the way you travel, because you are being uh, connected to the purity of who you are. So yes, lots to think about in water. I think that's a really powerful way of thinking about the rush to enter this week, this place we're in, with the energy of water. And I'm always fascinated when you go to the ocean, for instance, and you look at water, how water is this body of movement, and it has a melody and a song and a rhythm to it that's so complete, so peaceful, so informative. And it just keeps being itself in whatever way it needs to be. And when you pick up a drop of water, it's a whole drop. When you put it back in the ocean, it just, you won't even be able to follow that water unless you colored it with something, and maybe it would just be very quick. The color would fly in and then it would be gone. So uh, the water gives us the ability to move with greater agility, to purify our thoughts, our emotions that maybe are keeping us stuck. It gives us that motion, just like is written here, the potion for motion, moving forward, liquidizing what needs to be liquidized, so you are fully on board with this path. The card number 2 is the 8. And I'm not sure if this has shown up before because I don't remember, but the 8 is so fascinating, right? It's one of 2 numbers that you can draw just over and over. There's the 8 and the 0, and the 8 consists of 2 zeros. And what's so powerful right now in this time, just sorry if there's noise in the background, just the way it is in life. Just like the water, you just got to go with it, do what you need to do, knowing that there's sounds and life around you. If we seek for the perfect stillness or the perfect moment so that we can do what we need to do, it's not going to happen. So instead, we make it imperfect. And that, to me, signifies the 8. We have a lot of references with the 8 being the infinity symbol, that number that has the double eyes, or perhaps a mask of being able to look through and see what we have not, to see the gaps or the spaces in between or the shapes around it. The 2 circles meeting of wholeness, as above, so below, as within, so without. So remembering the sense of balance that happens when we make certain choices. What are we balancing with in the world? What are we balancing with soul? The decisions made in the physical world impact our soul, the things we choose to focus on and give credence to. And so many times, especially if we think about what that means, infinity, is we make choices based on what we think we're supposed to do, on what other people that we're looking up to are doing, or people we care about. And so we want to go along and do what they're doing. And this number and this time with the liquid is telling us to pay attention to what is true for us. So if we're not true to ourselves and to what is important to us, then the thing that we're trying to balance or equalize is also not true, right? So when I say true to you, being in integrity, being in leadership, pushing through the obstacles, again, the reference of the water, this idea of knowing yourself on a deeper level, being willing to do what it takes to see the bigger picture, to know that it's going to take effort to move through something. It's not just going to, do it on its own. But the more you bring in the energy of the liquid, the more you understand the flow of these two sacred zeros, creating this symbol of infinity, the greater your aptitude, the greater the opportunity. This is about persistence in your vision, holding your vision, knowing there are things you have to do over and over. This number is very linked to people that are good at sport. And it's not that they're saying, or the cards are saying you need to go and get good at sport. It's just that persistent traction, right? The action you repeat over and over until it becomes uh, easy, until it flows, until you reach that place where you are the water. So in the beginning, it can be muddy, it can be challenging, but if you just keep persisting, keep holding the vision, keep knowing this is what I'm going for, this is what I'm looking for, these are the things I need to do, and how can I do that in integrity? Being a leader means being in integrity. I mean, we can't lead others or even ourselves if we're lying to ourselves, if we're putting up with things that aren't true for us. So this is definitely a really important time right now to be in that place of truth. Now, it's not saying that we have to be what we might think of perfect. Oh, I haven't, I still have this habit, or I don't like this about myself, therefore I can't be true to me. What this is saying is that no matter where you are, it's that acceptance, that reverence for whatever you have that you're bringing to the table, knowing that nothing is set in stone. You can adapt and adjust, but choose the things you adapt and adjust, not about what is sacred to you, but instead the places that you can compromise, just like water. When water hits a rock, it can't move through the rock, it goes around the rock. It doesn't stop itself from being water. It doesn't make a big deal about the rock being in the way. It just goes, okay, what other ways can I get around this, right? And at some point, like over and over, as the water goes around the rock changes. So this is the thing to think about at this time, how the rock changes through the persistence of the water going in the direction it needs to go. It's not holding up its hand saying, oh no, I'm stuck, can't move. It's just going, I'm just going to find my way around it, because that is what water does. It has to flow, it has to move. So what do you do? What do you have to do in order to get past the obstacle and not be fixated on the obstacle, but be more focused on what is the thing you are being and doing, and what's the vision you are holding, so that you can maintain that core wholeness that allows you to continue to swim in the direction you need to go towards. And then card 3. And I love that this reading has one of each of the cards. Doesn't happen very often, so when it does, very exciting. And this one is the 10, the Soul Portal 10. And a lot of blues in here. I don't see much purple, but there is a little bit of purple here. And of course, we have the yellow, very much about the empowerment of self, the awareness, the light coming into our being. Kind of speaking of, to me, the full moon, the eclipse that's coming on the 30th of November. This idea of the full moon, the lunar eclipse, the thing that connects us to our emotion, our feelings. So this is a lot about our awareness of how we are allowing our feelings to move us. And what feelings are they? Are they the feelings that we purified through a funnel of knowing this is my truth, as opposed to this is some kind of area where I'm supposed to do something and I don't want to, or I really want to do this, but I'm going to stop myself in some way. Sometimes we can get fixated on an idea of being rebellious. I know I certainly have had a lot of fixations about being rebellious, thinking other people were holding me back. And when you're in rebellion, it stops you from really taking your path, because there's a certain mindset that needs to accompany the idea of being in rebellion. Instead of knowing you are exactly where you need to be, doing exactly what you feel called to do. And it's not about rebellion, it's about that truth, the truth of yours, the energy that invites you to express what you need to express at this time, explore, experience. And so when I look at this card, the 10, which the 1 and the 0, which comes to 1, new beginnings, the 10 is a number that magnifies what we believe, so speaks again to what we just looked at with the other 2 cards, you know, the liquid and the leadership, like creating leadership through liquid, and understanding where that takes us to the sacred place within us, to the connection to the galaxies, to the star, to the vision there, the energy of calling in that vision, knowing it is sacred, it is holy, that this space here is holy and sacred, this meeting of the magical, the alchemical, and the physical in the same space. It's like everything's coming together in one place. It is incredibly empowering and magical to think that everything we have dreamed of, everything we've imagined or people have talked about, and the things we've seen and know and experienced through our physical bodies, spiritual, emotional, mental, is all here. It's all coming together in one place. And that gives us an opportunity to really connect to what's true to us as opposed to what others have told us is necessary or true. So many people have dismissed the magical, right? The idea that they are magical creatures, that there's a sword and a stone, that there is all of this energy, that there is sacred place within us, sacred place in the world around us that is linked to the stars, the galaxy, and to the great earth, and all of that surrounded by water, surrounded by the mystery of what has been incarnated and is ready to be incarnated. So very, very powerful. Just looking at this and thinking about the message that's coming through with this is feels so emotional, in a sense of, yes, this is what I'm waiting for. This is what I've been waiting for. This is what I've come here for, is this moment in this time where all the realms are open and I can weave in and connect to what is true for me. So very powerful, this magnetizing of what we believe in, this ability to manifest what really is our truth, our desire in this new beginning, this opportunity to be in the world in a very sacred, delicious, joyful, and abundant way. One thing for sure is to call in a sense of abundance and love and light, etc., not in terms of what's this going to give me in a physical, like, more money, more houses, more whatever, blah, blah, blah things. Although they may come, it is much more about the spirit finding the path and the body or the physical connecting, right? So on every plane, when we connect to that which is true, the path opens up. So really thinking about that in terms of what you're wishing to manifest and bring alive into your world at this time and into our world. Like, what can you give and allow and receive in order to be part of this incredible awakening path that is unfolding in front of us. So this is a very sacred week of connecting to that, taking time to liquidize, to be in leadership, find your kind of that balance of leadership so you can truly see all the realms and the opportunities that are waiting to be woven by your own magic. So really powerful, powerful time. This is a juicy week that is leading us into the culmination of this portal that'll end in December. and that will open on the other side, but we're going to be on the other side journeying. So we are preparing how we're going to journey. It is just quite incredible. I am wishing you the most amazing week as you uncover the mystery of being in this juicy place, of being able to tap into your mystery and your mastery and set the wheels in motion. So, what was that thing we used to do? I see that with those plastic little things, we would make those Scooby Doos. I think is that what they were called, Scooby Doos, where you'd flap them over. Anyway, that's kind of what I keep seeing. So that's what we're doing. We're creating our own little Scooby Doo way of being in the world, which is so powerful. So the car just fell on the floor. So have an amazing week. Sending you so much love. Let me know if something came up for you want to share. I love your comments. I so appreciate your likes and subscribes and your comments. Well, thank you. And if you are interested in working with me, I am offering a new class that will be starting in the beginning of January, which is Independence, a Traveler's Guide. So if that's something you want to know more about, watch the space below because I will have a link in the next week for you. Enjoy. There's never been a time like this, so let us get juicy and dive into it all. Till I see you again.